The first announcement relates to something that we've really been waiting for a long, long time. In fact, we've been waiting for it for years. Well, personally I have, and I hope others have been waiting for it too. And I hope everyone will be very pleased to see, at last, Nagabodhi's book, Jai Bhim. Subtitled Dispatches from a Peaceful Revolution. The same peaceful revolution, of course, that you've been hearing about from Lokamitra, because that is actually what is happening in India among these ex-Antaswars. It's a revolution. It's a complete change in their whole way of life. A revolution started by Dr. Ambedkar, but it's a peaceful revolution. I mean, revolutions are going on all over the world. Revolutions are two a penny, but they're almost always very violent affairs. But this is a peaceful revolution. And as a peaceful revolution, it really is an embodiment of Buddhism in practice, Buddhism in action. I've also been asked to say that the publishing date is September the 1st. So I'm sorry to say I can only dangle it in front of your noses. And it has been suggested that you might like to place an order, either here at Padmaloka or at your own centre, to make sure that you get it, because I expect it may quite soon be sold out. At least I hope it will. So publishing date is September the 1st. And apparently, yes, Nagabodhi will be visiting most centres during September and October, so please encourage people to be there. He'll be travelling around, quite literally launching his book. I don't know whether he'll be signing copies. Very likely he will if he's pressed a bit. But he'll be launching his book around the movement in Britain and perhaps even eventually overseas as well. And I've been asked to stress that it would be highly desirable if people were to buy it. It's really quite cheap. It's only $5.95, which is peanuts, as they say. And not borrow it. Not borrow it. Otherwise, we don't want just 2 copies going around the whole movement, do we? So please do buy it and add it to your permanent collection and read it and reread it. I mean, I have to admit that I've been given a copy, already, and I've dipped into it, and I must say I'm really delighted. Well, quite a lot of it is about me. It's very, very well written. Some of it is really so funny. And there are some really fascinating characters emerging from its pages. I mean, quite apart from me. All sorts of other fascinating characters, Buddhist and non-Buddhist, and high and low, and and so on. Soon after our tour came to an end, I was to find myself arriving at the Foreigners Registration Office in Calcutta, in hot pursuit of a permit to visit Darjeeling. It was 9 a.m. A soldier in a uniform, some 2 sizes too big for him, with an ancient Lee Enfield on his shoulder, seemed to be guarding a sign which announced, "Hours of business, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. "Closed, sir," he said. "Come back at 11, sir." But it says 10 on the sign, our argumentative friend. He shifted his rifle uneasily and gave an apologetic waggle of the head. "Yes, sir. India, sir." So it's all like that, Plus Buddhism. Maybe a little bit more. Of course, we were not always kept waiting by them. As often as not, it was ourselves. This is on tour. A van once broke down in the heart of a sugarcane plantation. While waiting for it to be fixed, that sort of thing happened very often, Some of our number disappeared into the lush, cool depths of the cane forest. When the van was ready, the horn was sounded to bring them back, and off we went. About 10 minutes later, "Where's Munindra?" The van was halted and thoroughly searched. But there was no sign of Munindra, a records clerk from Pune Munitions Depot, a lover of meditation, solitude and silence. Well, if you want to know what had happened to Munindra, well, you'll have to just buy it in 3 weeks' time. And there are not lots of other really fascinating episodes, and you will learn so much about our movement in India, so much about the people, these fascinating, lovable characters, one or two quite fascinating, lovable British characters too. You'll also learn quite a lot about Nagabodhi. I mean, Nagabodhi really does himself, whether intentionally or unintentionally, really live in its pages. And the dedication reads, "These pages are warmly dedicated to the people who live in them." And people really do live in the pages of this book. So please buy your very own copy and add to your very own personal library.